Today, I want to show you the basic components of a rainwater collection system. I installed this system approximately 14 years ago. I'm a retired home builder, and I had installed probably at least a dozen of these systems, various sizes. In this system, we have the first tank you see, the little brown tank. That is what we call a roof washer. It's a 300-gallon tank, and what it does is it collects the dirtiest water first before the rainwater goes into the main tank. The main tank is a 20,000-gallon tank, and what we did here is we put a bed of coarse sand, and that's how we established the platform that it sits on, and then surrounded it with rock. So one thing to note is that when you set up a rainwater collection system, to have gravity flow, the house should be higher than the tank itself. And so if we turn around here and we look at the house, we see that the elevation of the house, the gutters on the house, is higher. This house has 5,000 square foot of roof surface, which in a 1-inch rain, it can collect between 550 to 600 gallons in a 1-inch rain, based on 5,000 square foot of surface area. If you have a smaller house, say about a 3,000 square foot of roof area, that includes porches and garage, then you would be able to collect approximately 1,800 gallons in a 1-inch rain. So going back over here, we see that the tank itself is corrugated metal. That adds strength to the tank, and it has these support areas right here that also add strength. We have a little bit of an overhang so that when it rains, the water washes away from the tank. And then in back of the tank here, you have the drain. When the tank overflows, which if the tank is already 3/4 full and you get a big rain, the water has to escape. And so that's what this is. This is like a 6-inch drain overflow valve is what you would call it, an overflow drain area. And this particular tank, there's many different manufacturers, but this particular tank is by the Pioneer water tanks. And what you see here is a gauge, the water gauge. We're showing that right now the tank is almost full. And there's like there's a floating bulb inside there that goes up and down, and it moves this gauge. This is our manual water gauge. All right, so let me show you a little bit more about the components involved here. So over here, we have the metal roof, which is a standing seam metal roof, and we have 6-inch gutters. The normal gutter is approximately 4 inches, but for rainwater collection, you need a 6-inch gutter. Notice on the gutter system, we have a fine mesh screen, which filters out a lot of the debris that you don't want in your water supply. And I'll show you later that we have a filtration system. We have these 4-inch downspouts, which are PVC. And you can see about every 50 feet, we installed a 4-inch downspout, which connects to a, it's a 3-inch downspout that connects to a 4-inch main trunk line system. Some people go larger than that, but the 3-inch system works fine on this house. The 3-inch downspouts connecting to the 4-inch main trunk line. And if you look down below here, you'll see that the pipe gets larger down at the bottom. So let me show you a little bit more about, like I said, this house has, every 50 feet we have a downspout. And we painted the downspouts, and the paint has held up just fine. We've had no problem with that. And so it can match many different types of backgrounds. And now I'm going to show you a little bit more about the filtration system. Here is the filtration system of a rainwater collection system. In this particular example, we have a 20,000 gallon water tank connected to a 1 horsepower pump. And you can see the name of the pump, and it's made in Italy. In this case, sometimes you can locate the pump itself outside, beside the water tank. But in this case, we put it inside the house. So it's actually pulling water from the tank slightly uphill to the house. As the water comes in, it enters the pump here, and then comes out, comes up, and then goes through these filtration system. And the filtration system is a sediment, and then a finer charcoal filter that and a fine mesh with charcoal impregnated into it that further filters it. And then not only does it have that, it also goes through a UV light system. This is the controller for the UV light system, and you can see the UV light is housed in this metal housing, and it has to be replaced once a year in order to be effective. So that is the basic components of a rainwater collection system. And the people here have been using this system for 14 years. And believe it or not, I think they've only run out of water once, and that was when the system had a minor leak, which they discovered it later on. So again, here is the 20,000 gallon water tank that we used in these examples to show you how somebody can survive on rainwater alone without any other system. And there's a picture of the house right there. This house, not only does it have the rainwater collection for drinking water, it also has, up on the hill here, it has another tank, in this case it's a 10,000 gallon tank, and this 10,000 gallon tank basically has the same type of arrangement. In this case, it's catching water off of a 12,000 square foot roof. And so in a 1-inch rain, it'll collect approximately 600 gallons of water. This water is being used to fill a swimming pool. We're looking at the backside of the tank with, it's a 6-inch overflow pipe, and the inlet pipe is a 4-inch PVC. It's a corrugated tank. on a concrete foundation. You don't have to put a concrete foundation. Many people use sand, and they hold in the sand by building a ring around it. And here's a look at the pool over here. And you can see the pool equipment. And in this example, this is totally, the water in this pool is totally filled with rainwater. So this house over here, which I built approximately 14 years ago, I did not install this water system here. This was done by another contractor. But this whole property is 100% on rainwater collection. So it just goes to show you that you can do this on your own.